That sounds fun. That sounds fun.
Hi, friends. Welcome to another episode of That Sounds Fun, The Seasons. I'm your host, Annie F. Downs. I am so happy to be here with you. Today on the show, it is a fun one, y'all. Our friends Abner and Amanda Ramirez from Johnnyswim are back with us today. We got to sit down in person at the Hepzibah House in New York City and record this one. Their brand new album, When the War Is Over, came out in February, and y'all know we needed an album to be our soundtrack for the spring. So I hope you've already started listening to this one. It is so good. Today, we're going to talk about how this album was inspired by an intense season of change in their lives and the way music really helped shape the seasons we're in. Y'all know how easily a song can take you right back to a memory or a feeling because it's tied to a certain time in our life. It's something I love about music, and we get to talk about that today. So if you're following along in your TSF Seasons Guidebook, we are on page 49. And if you're wondering what we're even talking about with this guidebook thing, you can find it at anniefdowns.com/seasons. Okay, here's my conversation with our friends and the band with our spring soundtrack. Here's Abner and Amanda from Johnnyswim.
That sounds fun.
Thank y'all for being on That Sounds Fun.
Yes.
What an absolute pleasure.
I'm so glad
So
you're
far.
back. Which is kind of you because we've had some technology moments. And so you'd be like, this has actually been okay.
Yeah, not bad.
Okay, so we're talking about New York because we're filming in New York and recording in New York today. If you lived in New York, what's your neighborhood?
Bowery.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
NoHo, Bowery, Nolita, like down there.
Yeah. Okay.
We really like staying down there, like where the Bowery Hotel is, and
Yes.
all. We like that neighborhood. But because of the children, I would probably be in Brooklyn somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, I would probably try to find
little
some
more space.
So her and the kids will be in Brooklyn. I'd be in Nolita.
No, you'd have two.
We have two
Same
spots,
city.
yeah.
Yeah.
We cross
Either that
town.
or like Bronxville, like up north, where it's
Yeah.
like kind of suburban, but still you can hop into the city really fast. Like I kind of find it charming up there.
What's the don't miss place to eat when you're here?
Ooh.
Well, we have a don't miss coffee
okay.
spot, La
Tell me.
Cabra.
We'll also eat La Cabra.
Yeah.
It's in.
It's on Second.
There's one in Soho as well, but it's not the OG one. The OG one's on Second, a little
Okay.
further south, and they make the pastries in house there.
so good.
So they're not getting shipped over. Like if you did the one in Soho,
on.
which is still good.
Yeah.
the pastries are
Cardamom
coming from Second.
bun?
It's just like a half mile away or a mile
Yeah.
away. But the cardamom bun, it's the best croissant I've had on the planet Earth, and I love croissants.
And y'all got engaged
Yeah,
in Paris.
right,
Told the internet told me.
exactly.
So you
That's
know a croissant.
Yeah, we love
love
a
a croissant.
Yeah, we love it. So that's probably our go-to coffee spot. I'm trying to think of what's our go-to food spot. We kind of hop around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bro, we like tacos. Here's a place called Tacos Number One. What's it
Tacos
called?
Oh,
Number
yeah.
one.
The line forever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cafe
Yeah.
Mogador.
Yeah.
Cafe Mogador might be my go-to, actually. A Tagine at Cafe Mogador.
I'm not just saying this because I love y'all, but I often find that people who come here and don't have a place but have a thing
Yeah.
have more fun.
Yeah.
Because if you have a place, you're kind of like, well, I can't miss the gnocchi. And you're
Right.
like,
Yeah.
Right.
But
Yeah.
also, there's 19 other gnocchis
Right.
and
Yeah.
stone's throw.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So if you're
exactly.
a gnocchi person over this particular gnocchi restaurant,
Right.
you're actually going to have a little more fun.
Yeah, I agree. That
think.
makes sense. Yeah.
What's the spot by Bowery, too? The Italian spot we love?
Oh my gosh.
El Buco.
Il Buco, yeah. I was like Osteria La
Buco's dope.
Buca, and then I'm like, no, that's not
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
El Buco. Like,
I mean,
We like
eating
it.
here is so fun.
I like it a lot.
And over time, Buvette and
Yes.
to get the whipped eggs. And there used
yeah.
to be a place called Fedora, and I think it's closed.
The way Buvette does an egg, how?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And everyone talks about it. It's so bougie. And you can also walk up and eat, and there's 6
Right.
tables.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
It is like you are transported into some other
Right, some other world.
world, yeah.
And there used to be a place called Fedora that made duck fat fried rice, and that was like our go-to.
Didn't they also have bone marrow there that was
Yeah,
really
they
good?
had like some sort of, and I think they closed, but every so often I'm like,
They might not have made it
that
through
sounds really
COVID, I
good.
think.
And then we have a lot of places I grew up going as a kid, and my mom's best friend Alice still lives here, so we always
Yeah.
Where'd we get
go up
pizza
to the
with your
Upper
mom all
East
the
Side.
time? Right in
Fiorella,
Columbus,
yeah,
yeah.
Fiorello's
Yeah.
to get the thin pizza. So there's sometimes we go
It's
to
like
like.
cracker thin pizza. Sorry, you got to talk about
So
food. We could be here for hours.
Yeah,
exactly.
No, I'm so
Yeah,
in.
we love it. Yeah.
You eat Fiorello Fiorello's? You had Fiorello's little cracker pizza? It's like the thinnest pizza ever.
Yeah, okay.
It's like if there was a polar opposite to Chicago pizza, it's
This is it.
Fiorello's in Columbus Circle, near Columbus Circle.
Oh, that's
Our
so close to us.
son was here and really wanted Roberta's because he's heard us talk about the original Roberta's in Bushwick for forever.
Yeah.
And now there's a Roberta's at the mall, like
In, like,
10 minutes
Sherman
away.
Oaks.
And so he's like, let's go to Roberta's. I'm like, you can get Roberta's at home. And he's like,
"Yeah,
oh, but not the original one.
It's a different thing now. It was a
Like,
thing.
now they have them all over the city, but before it was like you had to go find it.
Yeah. The problem I bump into now is if I am walking from A to B and I've got to grab something to eat, I'm like, well, there's a Chipotle, but how dare I?
I know, exactly.
Dare, like,
true.
and then I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna pop in and get a burrito. It's
right.
gonna be, and I'm
Yeah.
so disappointed in myself.
Yeah,
It's so easy.
Yeah,
Easy
I know.
wins.
I haven't had Chipotle in a long time, and I had it like a month ago, and I texted him, and I was like, "Is this awesome?" Like, I think I like went through a phase, when it first came out, where I was eating it all the time, and on tour we eat it a lot, and then we were
Yes.
like, "No, we don't want Chipotle anymore. We had gonna be bougier," and then now I was like, "No, I'm back."
Do I love Chipotle?
Yeah, sorry, I need to check with you.
Yeah,
I love
exactly.
this.
I think I'm
figuring
gonna
it out.
be, and I was like, our kids would love it. Like, why don't we come here?
What is y'all's touring schedule this year? Are y'all going out?
Yeah,
We're
we're going.
gone all the time.
Yeah, we're gone for half of March and half of April. So we got a month there, and then back again out in the fall. So we have a little bit of a break over the summer. Or at least we think it's a break. It never is a break, but yeah, well,
Because of the best
seemingly-
reasons.
Right.
We're like, so like, we want you to perform on the 4th of July
Right.
on television in front of God and everybody.
Exactly.
Well,
Well, I
there goes
guess
my
that's
summer
where
break.
we're going.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
That's
it's
exactly
wrong.
how it goes.
Yeah. So, but we're excited. This is
It's
the first
busiest
album.
year we've had in like 6 years, probably since 2018. I don't think we've had a busier year.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the pandemic slowed everything down.
I want to tell you a secret.
Oh no, Abner.
I won't say
wait
the
until we're
names.
not rolling.
Well, I can say it without saying the name. So we're going to London tonight?
Yes.
We're going to be in London for 2 weeks?
Yes.
Because we're writing a musical. And we're very excited, and it's a West End show.
Well, it's potentially a West End. He
Well, I
likes
mean, it's a
he
British
likes to
production.
jump the gun a little
Listen,
bit on things.
It's- I mean,
I'd
it
like
could
to
totally
go
flop.
ahead and reserve a seat
Yes.
on opening night on
Yes.
Broadway.
Yes.
This
if
is
it ever
recorded.
comes here, then
If it ever.
absolutely.
Oh, if it gets here, that'd
How
be the
different is
dream.
it in a world where you wrote a show someday?
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
you're working on one, maybe you aren't. Who
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
know?
Right.
How different is it to write a musical than it is to write an
Jesus,
album?
worthy of all praise.
It is.
It is. It is.
hard. It's for us. It's been really hard because everybody's expectations are different, and you're really collaborating in a way that when you make records for yourself, you don't necessarily have to collaborate in the same way. And there's a lot of musical theater people that are. I would consider us musical theater lovers. Like we like to go
Food
see
and
the
musical theater,
shows.
the three of us
Yeah.
are
Right.
Yeah,
We've
love
seen
it.
the original cast of a bunch of, we love it, but we're not musical theater nerds in that, like, I'm
And
not.
I don't mean that as a diss. That's not
No.
a diss.
Yeah,
Like, we're
yeah.
not like, we know everybody from every show that did everything. And
Right.
Do you remember the third
just love
song of
them.
Act 2? That
Yeah.
said, like, I
Yeah,
don't know.
we just love the experience,
Yeah.
And so to go in and just kind of get dropped into this world where we thought, like, oh yeah, how
And it's been a
different could it
dream.
be?
It's
Yeah.
been a dream
Yes.
to do what we're doing. But like, we write songs, right? We love writing songs. We love telling stories. We love creating a world within music.
Yes.
Absolutely. So musical theater is an absolute must do for us to continue world building through song
Yes.
and through lyrics. And
Yes.
it's a passionate, amazing experience. So much of what we do isn't writing songs when you're writing a musical.
Oh.
You're like figuring out the story, the plot, the structure. Does this work? Should this be a song? Should this be spoken? And everybody in this theoretical team that we're working with are award winners, like award winner, big time people. Except for us, we're low man on the totem pole, but it's a musical, and we're writing the music.
Yes.
and so we're the least experienced and the most responsible for the show.
Wow.
And
Won't the
so
Lord.
yeah, like it's yeah. It honestly is like she sent me a meme the other day
Yeah.
of like when you get what you've been asking God for 10 years, and it's just a guy like asleep under a blanket, like oh God, like just sick in a
help,
blanket,
yeah.
help me.
Yeah.
And it feels like that because so much of what we do isn't writing music.
Yeah.
So much of what's hard when we get to just write a song, it's like the fire hydrant gets turned on.
that's
Like
right.
let's go. You need a sad song? Watch me go. Like let's go. We need something happy right now. We want them to dance. You
Yeah.
say dance break? Watch this dance break happen.
Yes.
Like we can make it happen. But then it's all like the negotiating with all the other creatives in the room, and maybe there's some social differences between British folks and American
Sure.
folks.
Yeah.
The way we describe things, or the way we kind of, especially Amanda and I, we have our heart on our sleeve all the time.
Yep.
And
We're
you
a
try-
lot for like people from Ohio. You know what I mean? Like we're black, Italian, Cuban.
Yeah.
It's a lot. And so it's like that, like, you know, very composed British nature with us being
Yes.
like, wee!
Yes.
It's quite the combo.
But then y'all so speak the same language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That the two of you don't have to communicate.
Right.
But now you're sitting with other people. You're like, oh, I should probably tell you what we just said.
Right.
That was a
with
big
our
deal.
eyes.
That was a big
actually
deal
big.
for us to learn in this process, that we have to, so often, Amanda and I can disagree, argue, come to a conclusion without having said a word while writing a song. It'll be body language. It'll be a sound.
Yes.
It'll be me offering another thing. Not to say outright that I don't agree with you, but you know I don't agree with you, because
Yes.
here's what I'm pitching for that
Totally.
thing. And we'll get our resolve. We'll get to the resolution without ever talking about it directly. Just because we've been doing it for years.
Yes, yes,
Together. We've been
yes.
writing
Since
songs.
we were 5.
Yes,
We've been writing
that's
songs together for 20 years,
Obviously.
so there's some shortcuts that happen.
Right.
But now we're in a room with other writers and other creatives, other people.
Yes.
And we've come to a conclusion that we let nobody else in on. And we're like, so what we were thinking.
Yeah. 'Cause you started it. This is so interesting for a springtime conversation. I'm doing the same thing. The secret is I'm working on writing a movie.
Let's go.
Now, so I've written
Exciting.
books,
Yeah.
Right.
but I've never written a movie. It is
Right.
the same skill set. It's exactly what y'all doing,
Right.
which is so interesting. It's the same skill set of going, I know how to do this,
Right.
but
I know-
I've never done
This.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so talk about the newness of that.
Yeah.
Talk about the challenge and how, is that bringing you alive or is that being more painful?
It is so painful.
I know.
And it's, I come from, we were just talking about this recently, where like kind of being raised in church, especially in the South, like you can get through anything if you have the promise of a guarantee of something later.
Yeah.
Even if it's the afterlife.
Yep.
It's like, we're going to hold to you. I'm going to go to heaven. Jesus is going to come back. Whatever's going to happen.
Yeah.
So I can get through how horrible everything is, whatever, because I have that promise. And that's beautiful and it's cool. But when you try to, when you put that on a not macro scale, and it's like, all right, there is no promise that this thing's going to be good. There's no guarantee. There's no guarantee that we're going to win this creative battle
Yes.
and making something
Yes.
beautiful and amazing. And that alone kind of makes it more interesting. Like, there's no guarantees. You are operating without a net, and we're going for it full send. We're leaving our kids for weeks at a time to go work on a musical in London.
And none of us are independently wealthy.
Exactly.
No, it's not like if this doesn't work,
Right.
cool, I'll still
Yeah.
buy another.
Oh, no, like-
I'll still get a beach house.
Right.
No, we won't.
betting the farm on this, betting everything.
That's it.
On
Yeah.
this.
Yes.
And so there's a sense of risk and whatever, but I've never had such a creative, I've never been challenged so much creatively, for better or worse.
Yeah.
It makes me want to hide. It
Yeah.
makes me want to go climb the mountain.
Yeah.
All of the things.
Yeah. I think
All
it's
the things.
fun for people to hear both of us saying, y'all and me saying, we are being challenged to do work in the field we already do work.
Yeah.
Because, right, like, I think
Right.
some people, Amanda, would think, like, well, I already know how to cook. There
Right.
won't be more challenge to like try opening a restaurant.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Right? It's a whole different
exactly.
thing. So what are you experiencing in this change into a different genre inside your work you already do?
You know, I think I think of it a lot when it honestly comes to motherhood in
Oh,
a really
yeah.
similar way, where you have this thing that you love so much. This thing makes you exhausted, and this thing, is the best thing that you've ever done, and also you've never been more confused, tired, anxious in your whole life.
Yeah.
And how often, the blessings of God you can carry them like a burden, or you can carry them like a blessing. And so I think for me, I have to
that's a
sit
bar.
there. And
That is a
go,
word.
That's a bar.
I have to sit there and remind myself. Like, I literally this morning was like, okay, like this week, the last time we were working in London with everybody, every single day felt like we had ran a marathon. We would get back to the hotel and just be so exhausted. I cried a lot,
Yes.
throughout that whole week. And so going back, it was like, okay, like buckle up. You're getting thrown back in, like look alive. And I woke up this morning and just said, I get to go to London today, man. You
Good.
get to go to London today.
That's good, babe.
To remind yourself, because otherwise, you get these blessings, and blessings don't come without work. Our life, like, we always wanted to tour and be musicians. It's exhausting on the road.
That's right.
It's like, it's not always great to be on stage. Like, some nights it's amazing and that makes it all worth it. But there's nights where you don't feel good and you were in the back asleep all day because your body felt like it was falling apart, and you're now trying to bring joy to people.
Right.
And
Or
so
we just got in a fight backstage and we're having to sing a love song in front of 1,000 people.
Uh-huh.
It's like, are we
that
faking
happens
this? Are we
less-
cool?
Less often. But
It happens less and less. Yeah, it happened
But it's
more
when
kind of before we
people
got married.
say, when you have your dream job, you never work a day in your life.
Yeah.
I'm like, tell
They've
somebody.
never had their dream job.
Yeah,
They've
I was
never had
like,
their dream
Let
job.
me tell you when I've worked the hardest.
Right.
Today.
100%.
And tomorrow. I mean, I've never worked harder.
Right, and you're recreating yourself. It's not just like an extension to some degree. It is, but it's like you're growing another limb. It's like
Yes.
everything's restructuring to kind of create this new creative thing that you're doing. Your brain is working, your heart is working, your body's tired.
Your mind's telling your heart to chill out a little bit. Maybe that's too much heart. Maybe you need to like think a little more.
Yeah.
Because it used to be the answer, especially when you're the boss of the thing. For us, we write passionate songs. We could just go full throttle all the time.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who's going to tell us not to. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Now there's people telling, now it makes sense that it shouldn't.
Yes.
This song doesn't need that, or this moment doesn't need that. It's not just about being as passionate as you possibly can. It's not just about, swinging a sledgehammer. Sometimes you got to have a paring knife and get the different. I'm still kind of creating something, but now the tool's a little different. The execution's going to be a little different. The intention's a little different.
And I think the biggest thing is like staying curious in it all, reminding yourself to stay curious in it and to not hold everything so tightly, because I think even with this, it's like, I just want this to work. I want this to work. And then you go to the worst case scenario of like, what if it's horrible and everybody says that it's horrible?
Yeah.
And then you go, I'll probably just go write another one. Like I'll probably we'll make another album and we'll go on tour and life will move on. And, I hope that I hope that, failure isn't something that creates, a tumor in me emotionally. I hope
That's
it's
a question I have is how are you going to define failure on this?
Right. I mean, failure will be, there's multiple levels of failure. There's failure of like, it never gets on its feet. There's failure, it does get on its feet and people don't like it.
It gets on its feet. People don't like it, and they rewrite it without us. There's a few different places
there's
that it can go.
There's a few versions of failure. I think that.
So what's success then?
Success is we're sitting here in 2 years, and we're having another interview, and we're going to go see the show later.
Let's go see the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's success.
That's okay.
And it tours. It does everything. It goes from the West End to New York to high schools
across.
to
High schools.
That's the
Can you
dream.
imagine when you see high schoolers
Yes.
doing it on TikTok?
It's like,
yeah, you
I
actually
don't know
can.
that it's
That's what
appropriate
makes
for
it-
high school, but
I think it can. My high school would have done it. I went to art
really?
school in Jacksonville, Florida, that changed my life. Douglas Anderson School of the Arts. Jacksonville, the west side of Jacksonville, for a person of color, isn't the place that instills you with a lot of sense of belonging or of you can do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got more advice from people in my circle, people I admired, people at church, people wherever, that said, you'll never be a songwriter. You'll never. That's ridiculous. That's not for you. Like, you're going to get this kind of job because that's where guys in your neighborhood that look like you, that's where they work. Like, look around. Like, look, they don't, that's your job. You're over here. And it wasn't until I went to my high school, Douglas Anderson School of the Arts in Jacksonville, Florida, where I felt instilled with this sense of capacity to accomplish the things I wanted to accomplish and I saw myself doing. So I can see our musical being performed at Douglas Anderson School of the Arts.
Yeah. I'm really bad about seeing how big something can go. I always see it.
Yeah.
And then I go like, oh, I didn't quite do what I saw in my mind.
Yeah.
This is where we balance,
yeah.
because I always assume nothing's going to ever do anything, and he always goes the furthest, like, it's going to be the best thing ever created.
Can I tell you a ridiculous story? This is, I don't even know if I've talked to you about this. Years ago, I had this dream that we would play Letterman. And that a literal, I've never told the story. This actual dream, not like a waking dream, like a sleeping dream. We play Letterman, and God shows up at Letterman while we're performing, and a literal golden cloud is like in the room, and like people are just like, it turns into this like worship thing. People just know something magical just happened. Fast forward a few years, we played Letterman.
Yeah.
It was awesome. No cloud showed up.
Yeah.
I was a little disappointed.
Yeah, I bet.
And so kind of, I feel like you and I are the same in that where, I saw God in this and he wasn't there. I mean, I guess he was, but he didn't do that thing. So it could have been better.
Yeah, I often find myself thinking, especially when I'm thinking as we're in springtime and I'm thinking about things growing and the work of like what we put in the ground and what do we do next and how do we go? And I just go like, I think all the time this idea of why couldn't it go that way?
Right.
Yeah.
Why couldn't it go that way? And some people would say that's betting on yourself, right? Like y'all bet on yourselves, I bet on myself.
Right.
And in my like wearing high heels moments, I probably like betting on myself. And most of the time I'm like, no, I just don't know why that couldn't be true.
Yeah.
Why couldn't that be true?
Yeah.
Right? And so y'all are getting ready to do that in front of us.
Yeah.
That is fun.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
Hey friends, just interrupting this conversation to tell you about one of our incredible partners, Jolie. I'm serious about filtered drinking water at my house and in our office, but truly had never thought about what kind of water I was washing my hair with. Clean water is the first step to an effective beauty routine, and it's a step that I completely overlooked. But I got a Jolie shower head, and I can tell the difference. Jolie is a beauty wellness company that purifies the water we shower in for better skin, hair, and overall well-being. Chlorine is added to our water systems to disinfect it, which we appreciate, and kill bacteria, which we appreciate. But chlorine is damaging to our hair and skin and fundamentally causes issues, and Jolie fixes that. Jolie will give you your best skin and hair guaranteed. Head to jolieskinco.com/thatsoundsfun to try it out for yourself with free shipping. That's jolieskinco.com, jolieskinco.com/thatsoundsfun for free shipping. And if you don't like it, you can return your Jolie for a full refund within 60 days, no questions asked. Jolie is also available on Amazon and at select Ulta stores. Get yours now. And another incredible partner I love getting to tell you about, Ritual Vitamin. With the amount of ads we see and hear all the time on the internet and podcast, I know it's hard to decipher which products truly do what they say they do, but I promise you, we only tell you about the ones I love, and Ritual is one that I love and trust. They're a clean supplement company that is pledged to complete clinical trials on all of its products by 2030, with trials already done for their best-selling products like their Essential for Women's 18 Plus multivitamin, which is my personal favorite, and their skin hydration supplement, Hyacera. You actually can see all the results of their trials at ritual.com. It's fascinating. Go read it. I love their Essential for Women's 18 Plus multivitamin. You just take 2 capsules a day, which have 9 key nutrients, and the capsules feature a delayed release, which means it dissolves later and is easier on an empty stomach. And it has this great little minty essence to it. I love it. No more shady business. Ritual's Essential for Women 18 Plus is the multivitamin you can actually trust. My friends, get 25% off your first month only at ritual.com/thatsoundsfun. So start Ritual or add Essentials for Women 18 Plus to your subscription today. That's ritual.com/thatsoundsfun for 25% off. And now back to our conversation with Johnnyswim.
That sounds fun.
I wanted you to share, just talking about spring and about planning. This has been an incredibly difficult season for us.
Yes.
Like the last year. Mental health stuff, physical health stuff, even the journey of creating through mental health and physical health issues, making an album, finishing the album, moving right into writing a musical, something that we've never done before, and all the challenges and excitement and disappointments that come through that process. We were at church the other day, and Amanda went down for prayer. And before we went to church, she was like, God, I just want to hear from you. Just give me something. And can you share that? You could stop me.
No, I'm joking. I went down. Our church is wonderful. We love it, and there's
We're
always
looking for a church in Los Angeles, California. Bread Church is amazing.
Bread Church, yeah, and they always have prayer afterwards, and it's not like they'll be like, oh, if you need prayer for this specific thing, but they're very encouraging as far as like just come down. And so I went down, and somebody prayed over me. I didn't know who he was, never saw him before in my life. And he just said, God's teaching you about seasons, and he's teaching you, I see you with your hands in the dirt, and you're learning how to watch things grow, watch them die, come back to life. Like you're learning about seasons. And so just let God teach you. And that was it. And I was like, okay, here we go. Like, and it has been, I think in the past couple of years, a crash course in acceptance and letting things go and watching things grow in the middle at the very same time as you're watching things die, and being able to kind of, with your hands dirty, see both at the same time and carry both at the same time. But I haven't learned too much yet. So I'm still in process.
You got a lot of dirt under the fingernails.
But
not a lot of lessons to give from it yet.
I did get excited because I'm a really, really terrible gardener, and I love gardens, love them. Yep. So we had this company come and do like a fruit garden, for a couple years, and then at some point I was like, we're not eating this as much as like we should. Like we have a lot of leftovers. We're giving a lot to neighbors, and it's however much a month. And so I was like, I can do it.
Yeah.
So I went and I planted some seeds, whatever. Nothing. It's like other than the mint, which took over, like nothing has grown, right? And so the other day I was like, man, like not one thing, like not one seed grew. And then I saw this one little sprout, and so I picked it. I was like, I think it's a carrot, and I picked it up. Nothing. It's just a weed, right? And I was like, forget it. A couple days go by. I go back out, and I'm like, God, like, I got to get all these weeds out of this thing. Maybe I'll redo it. I was like, it really does look like a carrot. I pulled it out. Nope, it's a weed. But then I looked closely, and it was the tiniest carrot. It just didn't have enough time to grow yet. And so it was just kind of being like, just because you don't see it yet,
Right.
doesn't mean there's not a lot happening. So that's all I've learned lately.
That's good.
How much do y'all carry prophetic words like that? Like, how helpful is that to you? I mean, that obviously has meant something to you over the last week or a couple of days or whatever. Do y'all have a lot of those in your? I mean, I have a list. Do y'all
I have a whole journal of
we have journals. I think you do too, plural.
Yeah.
Of prophetic words and like old cassettes, like literally from like the early 2000s at a church, where somebody would give you a word at church and you'd ask for the cassette afterwards to be able to have the recording of it.
Yeah.
I do have. What's the verse? A prophet is responsible for their own spirit. You know, there's been some words that are a little ridiculous, like a little.
That's right.
Like kind
I
of
had
not.
one prophet tell me that I was going to gain a bunch of weight when I turned 40, and I was like, thanks.
So
Like, what's it like to be jealous?
yeah, exactly. I was
So
like, weird, but
Weird.
okay.
Yeah.
So we don't hold on to all of them.
Yeah, yeah,
We
yeah,
don't hold on to all
yeah.
of them. But there's a few that have meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
That have kind of been markers, and I'll wait for them in anticipation to see. Okay, I think I agree with that, and that resonates with me deeply. I'll watch for that in the future, and then you see them kind of appear, and you move past them where they integrate into your life, like this season or this change or this moment, this thing, you know. So there's a few key ones for me that I've held on to my whole life and that I still look forward to.
I'm fascinated to hear y'all talk about it because in When the War is Over, in the album, I've thought this about your music before, but I particularly thought it listening through this album. It has some prophetic undertones to it. It just feels like y'all picked up some old suitcases and went, y'all want to see?
Oh, yeah.
And then closed it back up and put it back in your closet.
I like that.
Yeah.
Is that, I mean, am I reading too much into some of these songs?
I mean, maybe, because I'm like trying to think of what
One thing we have noticed,
like,
one thing we've noticed, and we'll notice this live, like we'll be on stage in front of people singing, and I'll say something from a song we wrote 10 years ago. And I'll be like, oh, did you hear what I just said? Like, just with the eyes, kind of, like that happened. Like, we sang this thing, and this thing happened, like years after we wrote
sometimes
it.
we talk about dying, and then I'm like, well, I hope you don't die.
Everything has to be prophetic.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the one that's coming to my mind is the one about your parents.
Yeah.
About like just going like, look,
Oh, yeah.
there's this story about our
Yeah.
lives.
Yeah.
And even the When the War is Over as a song. I don't know. I have wondered in my own life listening to y'all if prophecy was a part of your lives.
Yeah. I mean, we do think of, we think of songwriting in its best form, and we don't always do it, for sure. But it does feel like you're listening, right? Like when you're writing a song, it's my favorite of our songs aren't the ones that we were like had a thesaurus out and we're a rhyming dictionary and we're like crafting in that way. It was the ones that just felt like I don't know where that came from. And so I think, I mean, literally like the song he's talking about is our song Home, which is super old, and we wrote it when our parents are still alive. And in the first verse it says, my daddy's gone and my mama met a maker. And after his dad died and my mom died 9 months later, we were like,
What is happening?
oh, what was that?
What is happening?
Yeah.
So
I had this vision once that all of humanity was in a house.
Okay.
We're all similar to like this beautiful brownstone. We're all in like many layers, many levels, whatever. But we were all just in one floor, one room. All of humanity represented there. And there were a few doors, but there was one door that on the other side was all the secrets of the universe. Was the deep well of like knowledge and mystery would just be revealed if you could just open the door and look. You would just be overwhelmed with all the data and all the confirmation and the mysteries that now aren't mysterious because you could see it, And the people invited to that door were the creators, were the authors, the writers, the painters, and we were all asked to come to the door. And some people could peek through the keyhole. The door never opened. Some people would try to peek underneath it. Not like we were cheating. We were invited to.
Yeah.
But most of us would just put our ear to it and listen. And our hands would start
write
getting
down what
busy.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter. It didn't matter what it looked like. It didn't matter if you were painting. It didn't matter what this looked like as long as you were focused on listening. The moment that your attention went from listening to try to fix this thing, this became pointless and it lost value. It was as long as you were listening to the door.
Yeah.
And it showed me, and then all we did is we showed the rest of the room what we heard, what we saw, glimpses from the other side of the door. And it really rocked me that that's our job. Entertainment's cool. Art for commerce is cool. It's great that we get to pay our mortgage with making music. I love that, and I'm proud of that, and it's beautiful. But ultimately, my job is to translate to the rest of the room what I'm hearing from the other side of the door. And I do think with that, unintentionally or intentionally, there's insight. I think there's mystical things happen in art. Like even just before this, there wasn't a conversation, and now there is, right?
Yeah.
Like we reach into the abyss that seemingly is nothing, and we come out with something.
Yes.
Our group chat for our recording team, like all the musicians, when we were recording, was called Airbenders, because like we're just bending air.
Our bass player, Marcus Huber. Do you know Marcus? Marcus Huber.
Through friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not
Marcus is an
bros.
amazing human being.
Yeah.
He said, how crazy is it that we're just in here bending air? And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, sound, like, oh, it's just air.
Yeah.
Like we're just changing it how we see fit. Like we're just bending it. And it was cool because it is mystical. I think one of the things that get lost in the certainty of life and in the pursuit of certitude is just how mystical this whole thing is. Like it just is. You know? And there's a beauty in embracing that, and I think in what we do, and I think in the album and writing stuff and writing movies and conversations like this is we can choose to engage with the mystical. And I think like when you hear prophetic tone in our songs, I don't think we would call that trying to prophesy or trying to be prophetic,
Sure.
but I would call it intentionally tapping into something beyond us, intentionally, knowing that there's something mystical happening, and just receiving it and agreeing it and moving with it.
Yeah, that's right. When you think about seasons, Amanda, like that word you just got, put together for us, if you can, in some way, the air bending of music.
Yeah.
And how that affects seasons. As this album, When the War is Over, is our spring soundtrack for That Sounds Fun.
Right.
Will you kind of say, why does that matter? Why does it matter that we bend the air in this particular season? How does music affect the season you're in personally?
Man, I think how music has affected the season that I'm in personally, it's for sure been an outlet for me going through chronic health issues and the emotional toll that it has. And it's been a community building aspect for me as well, because when you're in the middle of it, it feels very lonely and it feels like nobody really gets it.
Yeah.
And even just physically, like, you know, the amount of times that I would say to him, like, I don't know how to explain to you how my body feels. Like, I don't know how to explain how it feels, you know, and saying the same thing, you say it to doctors a billion times, you say it to everybody you know, and it just feels like you're alone in this body and you're alone in this experience. And so having people go, oh my gosh, I listened to, you know, that song and that's exactly how I felt. Now I can send it to other people and they know how I feel now. Like I don't feel so alone.
Yes.
So that I think has been really healing for me, not just the writing of it, which a lot of times the writing of it's the healing part, and then you let it out and you hope it affects people. But weirdly enough, for this one, it was putting it out that was healing for me and realizing that I wasn't alone. And I think how it goes back to gardening and springtime, I think that there is, like Abner said, a magic and a mysticism to all the things that we do, and something as basic, something as grounding as the earth, right? The most natural thing of all still has so much mystery to it. And we like to have certitude. We like to be certain, and to be able to create things that are seemingly out of nothing. And even though there's a lot of science and, you know, there's, you know, chlorophyll and sunlight.
The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell.
You know, it all makes sense, but I don't know.
But we have no control over it.
But we have no
None,
control
yeah.
over it, you know, and you get to experience it, and you get to experience the joy of it and the humanity and the loss of it. And I think, you know, for me, and this is a little bit of a rabbit trail, but I think something that I've learned so much lately is I grew up with this very grand view of God, as you should, right? Like this, God is so big and he's so mighty and he's so powerful and all these things that I believe are true. But the thing that I wasn't trained in is, even though you hear Jesus as a man, but the humanness of him and how closer to God that I feel recognizing my humanness and feeling loved in my humanness. And when you see, you know, the fires in LA, like, yes, I saw God in the massive way that people helped out and everybody came together, but the massive way that everybody helped and came together was distilled into people being human together, you know? And so I think that that's something that I'm learning, and I think that's something when you have your hands in the dirt, you have to learn.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's not a magic potion that you can put on it. It's like you just have to be one with the earth. You know, you just have to put your hands there.
Hey friends, just interrupting this conversation one more time to tell you about one of our incredible sponsors, BetterHelp. This show is brought to you in part by BetterHelp. I know there's still some fear around seeking out a counselor. Y'all tell me that. And in fact, 26% of Americans who participated in a recent survey say that they have avoided seeking mental health support due to fear of judgment. But we all need help. I am such a better Annie because of the work my counselor and I have done together over the last decade, and I am so thankful for her. This month is Mental Health Awareness Month, so let's encourage each other to take care of our well-being and break down any stigma that may still be lingering around seeking help from a counselor. An incredibly easy place to start is with BetterHelp. With their online therapy, you get quality care at a price that makes sense. It's convenient, too. You can join a session with the click of a button, helping you fit therapy into your busy life. We are all better with help. Visit betterhelp.com/thatsoundsfun, and my friends are going to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/thatsoundsfun. And one more incredible partner I get to tell you about, Thrive Cosmetics. Whether you're all about simple mascara and gloss or you love to play with bold shapes and colors, you know me, I love a fun lipstick. Thrive Cosmetics makes certified 100% vegan and cruelty-free products that you can depend on for everything from simple daily wear to fun night out looks. And it's all made with clean, skin-loving ingredients, high performance and trademarked formulas, and uncompromising standards. I also love that for every product purchased, Thrive Cosmetics donates products and funds to help communities thrive. My absolute favorite thing that they make is their liquid lash extensions mascara. I wear it every day, and I know you've heard me talk about it, but it really is the best mascara I've ever tried. And I'm not the only one who says that either. It has over 40,000 five-star reviews, you guys. That is wild. So give it a try. I want to hear what you think. There are actually 5 different shades to choose from. It lasts all day without clumping or smudging or flaking. And I promise you, I don't have lash extensions. Y'all have asked. It's just the liquid lash extensions mascara making my lashes look super long. Plus, at the end of the day, when you're ready to get your makeup off as quickly as possible, it's really easy to take off. It slides right off with warm water and a washcloth, no soap required. Try your new trusty favorites with an exclusive set for our friends. Listen to this. New customers can get the Liquid Lash Extensions Mascara and a mini-sized Brilliant Eye Brightener at a special set price with free shipping, and it's available at thrivecosmetics.com/TSF. Or save more with 20% off your first order at thrivecosmetics.com/TSF. That's Thrive Cosmetics, CAUSEMETICS.com/TSF for 20% off your first order. And now back to our conversation with Johnnyswim.
That sounds fun.
Abner, not everybody's writing books and albums and musicals.
Yeah.
So will you talk to our friends listening who are like, I'm not creative like that, but I'm raising a family.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've got my hands in the dirt because
yeah.
I'm putting everything I can into these kids.
Yeah.
But I don't know what they're going to grow into beyond
Yeah.
what God. The overarching,
100%.
possibly the overarching thing of springtime is we have no control.
We have no,
Yeah.
We have no control. So will you talk a little bit to the people who are growing a lot of other things? Maybe it's businesses or family, or what's some encouragement you have for them while they're putting their hands in the dirt, like you're doing with the new musical?
Yeah, man. I think we're all writing songs. I think we're all, in our own way. I think it all is this beautiful tapestry of artwork. To me, I see it all as songs. I see raising families, going to your job every day, even if you're not picking up an instrument, have not a lick of musical ambition, or can't carry a tune in a bucket. We're all writing songs. We're all watching, and we're all gardening in a sense to bring back spring. That same sense of mysticism that I feel, or that mysticism carries a lot of weight. Let's say that same sense of magic that I feel when I can imagine us as artists standing by the door and being translators of the eternal to the rest of the room. I feel that same sense of magic putting my son to bed. I feel that same sense of magic in conversations with my 10-year-old, and watching my 5-year-old dance, and watching my 6-year-old deal with her emotions, and as a father trying to figure out how to help guide her and help her value herself more than the negative thing her friend said to her in freaking kindergarten. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like there's so much magic. There's so much. We put water in the ground where we have seeds because we were taught that when the water goes in the dirt where a seed is, the seed will bring something beautiful. But I don't know how it does that. So the best we could do is water it and stay diligent and till the earth that's in front of us with the tools we have at hand. You know what I mean? For us, that's songwriting, writing books, writing movies, doing this, sitting and having conversations. For everybody, it's their own thing. I remember the revelation I had when it blew my mind at like 15 years old or something. When I realized there's more than 8 things you could do with your life.
That's it.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like everybody, there's only these 8 things.
Right.
Yeah. I remember getting ready for college and be like, well, I don't want to go to college. It's not like a course for what I want to do. Oh, well, maybe if you go to Belmont, you could be a songwriter. You could figure it out. I can't afford Belmont. Like, where do we come from? We're poor people, you know? Side note, first question my dad ever asked me when he found out I was dating her, you know, daughter of the disco queen and like all this stuff. It's like, son, it was a really serious conversation. He's like, son, does she know that you're poor? I was like, yeah, she knows.
First of all, yes, but also like how rude.
Right.
I think I care. Who cares who cares?
Yeah.
Right.
All that to say, like, there's the realization, not the revelation really, but just the realization, like, there's everybody's life is like a custom fit suit, like a bespoke suit, like a bespoke shirt, completely fitted to you. Yes, there's some great tools you can gain by, you know, if you want to be a doctor, by all means, please study to be a doctor.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
please follow that course. But nobody's exactly you, and there are things that will be left undone for all of us that are ours to do, regardless of what you do. That will never be done if you don't do them. And not just even sense of go out there and accomplish all your dreams. That's not even what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there is a sense of purpose in you that is uniquely yours. That there's no backup for. There's no backup plan for the things that, regardless of what you do with your life, you're meant to accomplish. Raising your family the right way, loving your kids, loving your wife. The best thing you could do, this rocked my world. The best thing you could do at like a cellular level for your children's brain is to love your spouse well. That's the best way to help them get into the college that you want them in, or that you hope they could aspire to, or whatever, is to love one. All that to me is like water. Watering the seeds, watering the soil, loving well, diligently, being kind to yourself, being kind to the people around you. That's all writing songs to me, man.
Yeah, that's good. I was walking in Central Park a few months ago, and I was just crying. And
you do.
As one does. I mean, when I moved here, and people were like, you know, people cry everywhere. And I was like, no. And I was like, people cry everywhere.
Yeah.
They cry everywhere.
Yeah,
Because like
they're
your
living
house
their
is too
lives.
small.
Yeah, exactly.
And you've got places to go, but you've got to feel them.
And
cry in
nobody's
your
trying to
car.
fix you.
No.
Can you imagine crying in Nashville? You're downtown Franklin, you're crying. Brother, how can I help you?
That's it.
Nothing wrong with it, but that can happen here.
I see you.
Yeah.
I believe you.
Yeah.
Whatever it is,
whatever it is.
I believe you.
Yeah, exactly.
I bet you're right.
I bet you're right.
And I remember thinking what you're saying. I remember thinking it feels like a gift from God that the Lord is like, I just remember thinking, whatever I'm planting here, I'm going to harvest.
Yeah.
Whatever
So
these
good.
tears are planting, there is going to be a harvest. Am I going to harvest it in Central Park?
Right,
Or
yeah.
am I actually planting something here?
Right.
And so it's really interesting to think about what you're saying of like this idea that our friends listening are going to talk to a barista today at Starbucks that they are going to say something no one else could say.
Yeah.
Because they're planting something no one else could plant. Everybody thinks everybody else is more important than them. And you're like, no, you're incredibly important.
Right, exactly.
Not in Los
I can't
Angeles.
do your life.
Yeah.
In Los Angeles, everybody thinks they're the most important.
Yeah, that's right. For the rest of us, for the heartland.
Yeah, exactly.
It is just really such a good reminder, Abner, that in whatever season we're in, whatever we're digging into, we are the only one who can do it.
Yeah.
And it ain't about doing it publicly. It's about doing it in your life. I can't wait till we get to heaven. The Lord goes to me, and he's going to be like, go cut the grass. I've got people to celebrate. Like, you got enough thank yous on earth. I need to do some thank yous in heaven, right?
Exactly.
It'll be such a gift to watch him do that. When people are listening to this album, particularly when the war is over, paint a picture of this kind of soundtrack we need right now. Paint a picture of what you see this music doing and what you're. I mean, it's already out. People are giving you feedback.
Yeah.
What's this album that's different than the others?
I think talking about springtime, the beautiful thing about spring is that there's both showers and flowers, right? And being able to enjoy both of those and realize the purpose of both of those. And I think this album has some songs that are the showers and some songs that are the flowers, and it holds both.
It does.
There's songs on there that we hope that it's just like feels free. There's a song called Monte Carlo that's like just everything's gonna be okay. And just
It is
open
your
the windows.
one. It's the next one that you are gonna do out there in the middle.
Just open the windows and like let it go for a second. And then there's the love songs, and then there's the songs that don't quite have an answer and it just are like, this sucks right now, and there's no answer. There's no like little cherry on top. It's just like, this is hard. And I think, so for me, it relates to spring in that way where there's both, and you can recognize that the difficulties will bring the flowers. But like, honestly, who cares when you're in the middle of the difficulties? You don't care.
No.
Like the amount of times people are like, you're going to be so resilient. I don't want to be resilient. I was
wanna be
resilient
done.
enough before this. I was fine. I felt fine.
Like when I lost my dad and you lost your mom, and it was like, it's gonna get better. You're gonna be fine. He's in better. But it's like, I don't want to be better.
That's it.
I don't want to be better. Like ultimately, I want to feel what I'm feeling right now. I miss my dad.
Yes.
Stop telling me that I'm gonna feel better.
Yeah, that's right.
It ain't even about feeling better or worse. I hope, if you're done, and this is the reason I wanted you to go first, because I got this from you.
Oh.
And if you were gonna say it, I wanted you to say it, but you didn't. So this is all me. Amanda says this wonderful thing, and actually I heard her bring it up about the musical too. Our hope is that when people hear the album or when they come to a Johnnyswim show, I hope they have a good time, sure.
Yes.
I hope they see us and they love it. We hope they see themselves represented in every song, and the
Yes.
laughter and the sadness and the hard times. And in this album, more than any album we've ever released, my hope is that people see themselves.
Wow.
Different parts of their journey. Maybe they're in the toughest in the showers time, and maybe they need that flower song to be able to be hopeful, and just a little encouragement to hold on through, because you're not done yet.
Yeah.
As long as you got breath in your lungs, you're not done yet. You know what I mean? But then just like, I don't want people to tell me I'm going to be okay sometimes. I just want somebody to hug me,
Yeah.
or just sit next to me. Maybe
Yeah.
put a record on. Maybe bring me a coffee. Maybe bring me a whiskey. I don't know where we're at,
that's it.
particularly in that day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just I hope that we can be that for people. I want people to see, Amanda and I know, our greatest dream for this album is for people to see themselves.
Yeah.
In the songs, wherever you are, that you would feel a little less alone, that you would feel like somebody's on your side, somebody is where I'm at or has been where I'm going.
Yeah.
That's the hope I have for this album.
I mean, I want to, on a microphone, thank you for making art through chronic illness.
Oh.
Because that is like, I don't want you to have to get resilient either.
Yeah.
I don't want that for any of my friends.
Yeah.
But something different gets deposited in art when you make it from pain.
Yeah.
And so you've
bar.
deposited something for us
Yeah.
that we all gained from
thank
at
you.
your cost, which I'm really
Yeah.
sorry.
No, it's
but
okay.
I
Thank you for
appreciate
saying that.
you still working.
In pajamas, laid completely down the entire time.
She
but
sings
yeah.
this line is it psilocybin? So at the end of the song, psilocybin. We were done recording. And she's like,
Yeah.
she walked in and she was having a particularly bad day. Could barely get out of bed, miserable.
Yeah.
She comes in like barely into the studio at our house, and she's like, put the mic on. We have a mic on the coffee table. She's
Yeah.
like, put the mic on. I got something. And she laid down in the fetal position, like the literal fetal position, headphones on, and sang the closing line of the song that says, "Look at us, we're all brand new." Like this very beautiful, like powerful thing. Look at us, we're all brand new. As she's just sitting there having one of the worst days of her life.
But
in the fetal position
what
on
I
the
love
couch.
about that lyric is that our production manager Gene Kim and his wife have been married for a long time, and it was something that him and his wife would say to each other. And this song is about changing. You know,
Yeah.
I wrote it for him when he was going through depression, and he was used to being the life of the party and the guy that's always happy. And for me, it was weird to be like, oh, this is like a different person. And so the
Yeah.
chorus just is, if you change, I'm changing too. And the ability to so. Our friend Gene Kim says to his wife, look at us, we're brand new. We're brand new. Every time his wife does something that she's never done before and is, acting a different way, like we're allowed to change, we're allowed to grow, we're allowed to be there with each other. And so I think as much, I wrote that a lot of that for him, but really it was us together going, hey, look at us, we're going to be brand new people.
Yeah.
Yes, this is all different than what we're used to, but we're together and we can be brand new again. We can keep becoming, because that's what life is. It's just constantly becoming.
Yeah.
That's a bar.
Okay, listen. Pass the plate, everybody. What a sermon this episode has been. What a gift to get to make something that didn't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a gift.
This was
so
a gift.
grateful.
We're not. That sounded like a wrapping up thing.
It is
We're
a
not
wrapping up thing.
Jeez,
Yes, y'all
come
got
on,
a
man.
plane. Y'all got a plane.
Y'all hold the plane
Yeah,
first.
yeah, they will. I hope. Okay, let me ask you the last question I
Yes.
always ask. Y'all did this last time. Both of you get to answer, because the show is called That Sounds Fun. You got to tell me what sounds fun to you.
Don't say
Okay.
sleep. Don't say sleep.
No, I'm not going to say sleep. Okay, you go first, because
No.
let me formulate my thought.
What sounds fun to me is getting on this plane this afternoon
Yes.
after a hard 2 weeks, a fun and fruitful 2 weeks
Sure, but-
of promo for our album, TV stuff. We did the Grand Ole Opry for the first time.
Yes!
Like, it's been a wonderful couple weeks. To wake up tomorrow, go to work in London, and just kill it. Like, just feel like some of the work we've done in the months since we've been there. It sounds fun to me to make a kick-ass musical
Yes.
that we'll see here on Broadway, that we'll see on the West End, and that'll play at Douglas Anderson School of the Arts as well.
That's it. You
That
better
sounds
go
fun.
that first time that plays at the high
for
school.
sure.
Yeah.
You
For
better just
sure.
sneak in the back and just
That's right.
sob your way through the whole
Yeah.
thing and not even tell them you're there. Don't even
100.
buy a ticket online.
100.
Don't even tell them you're there.
Okay, so I'm reading this book called The Wedding People. Have you read it?
No, but I saw the cover when I
Okay.
walked by the Strand today.
Okay, well, maybe
it
pick
great?
it up.
Okay.
I've been loving it. I'm like halfway through. But the main character deals with depression a little bit. And she said that when she was in depression, nobody ever talked about fun before. But when she was depressed, everybody would be like, do you want to go get drinks? That sounds fun, right? Do you want to go for a walk? That sounds like fun. And she was like, I developed this weird, hatred towards the word fun because it was just people trying to like pull me out of this thing that they couldn't pull me out of when actually just living is fun. Like when you're living, it's all fun and you don't have to like really think about it. And I so viscerally understood that because when you don't feel good and somebody goes, do you want to go, let's go to the movies. That sounds like fun. And you're like, I feel like crap. Nothing sounds fun. I'm very thankful to be in a place where now just like doing very normal things sounds like fun. So what sounds fun is just like getting in the car and looking at the city and packing my things. Like just everyday life sounds fun right now.
I like her.
You should keep her. Thank you guys for doing this today.
Yes,
It's an honor to be here. I mean that. I'm not
such
just
an
saying that. Thanks
I
for
feel
having
the
us.
same way. The music y'all make is such a gift to us, and this will be so fun for us to use this for all spring in our lives.
Yay.
So and beyond. But
Yes.
oh, you guys, don't you love them? Aren't they brilliant? Oh, and they sing so good. It's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair for them to be amazing at everything. Y'all have got to go listen to our spring soundtrack, When the War is Over. Right now, open up the doors, roll down the windows, have yourself a spring day. Have yourself a spring Monday with When the War is Over. Make sure you head to Johnnyswim.com to see if they are coming to a city near you this year. You have got to see them perform in person, you guys. If you love this episode, make sure you go back and listen to their first time on the show, episode number 308. I also want to make sure you know that starting this Thursday, May 1st, you're invited to go through the Gospels with us during the month of May. We've got a whole reading group of friends joining us, and you can listen along with us over on the Let's Read the Gospels podcast. So make sure you're subscribed over there. We'll link all this in the show notes. We're also going to be reading in the order that is in the Let's Read the Gospels guided journal. So you can choose to just listen or read and journal along with us or do all of it. It's totally up to you. But we've got a Facebook group for all of us who are reading together. So head to the link in the show notes to sign up for the reminders on Thursday and to get that Facebook link. And we cannot wait to get started. All 4 books, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. 3 chapters a day. You'll hear them all in the month of May. Let's go. If you have any questions from this episode, drop them in the Q&A box on your Spotify app if you're a Spotify listener like me, or send them to us on Instagram at That Sounds Fun Podcast. We'll try to answer them there for you. If you need anything else from me, I'm embarrassingly easy to find. Annie F. Downs on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, anywhere you may need me. That is where you can find me. I think that's it for me today, friends. Go out or stay home. Do something that sounds fun to you, and I will do the same. Today, what sounds fun to me? Well, to be honest, I was at church a long time yesterday preaching, and so today I am very happy to be taking a little nap, a Sabbath slow Monday. Y'all have a great week. We'll see you back here next Monday with our friend, you love her, me too, Lisa Harper. We'll see y'all next Monday.
That sounds fun.
That sounds fun.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Check 1, 2 on the microphone. Annie F. Downs in your car to your home. Every week it's something new. A deep talk or an interview. She'll make you laugh, she'll make you cry. When it's dark out, she's a light. When you're down, get you feeling right. Oh man, that sounds fun.
That sounds fun.
That sounds fun.